All right, everybody, hit that like, hit that subscribe, turn those notifications on. The Sports Hounds start right now.
Let's go! This ain't the fuck like Austin thinking he stinks!
Oh shit!
It's gone!
Good evening, everyone. It's Monday night. Sports Hounds live exclusively on A2DRadio.com. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Twitter, Twitch, Periscope, Instagram. You miss anything here on A2D Radio, check us out wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Spreaker, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Takeover Talk. Takeover's real. Keep it locked right here. 2022. Going to be the year of A2D Radio. Lots of stuff going on. Got some big announcements, some of which have already been made, but we're going to get into them. We got a lot to talk about. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that share button. Tell everyone. Turn those notifications on. Don't miss a damn thing here on A2D Radio. We're brought to you each and every Monday by BetUSA, our newest sponsor. They're the leading online sportsbook who has been in the market for 25 years. You can bet anywhere in the USA on anything and everything. There's the A2D Radio link. Use that link. Tell them Rob Brinkman sent you. Tell them A2D Radio sent you. Get a 125% sign-up bonus, $50 minimum. I've already been moving and shaking with my $50, turning into $125. That's a great bonus, 125% bonus, all because you know us here at A2D Radio. Absolute no-brainer. Our poll question tonight, we're diving right into it here. We got a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about All-Star Weekend. We got James Harden, the Beard, going to be active Friday night against, I think, the Minnesota Timberwolves. He's going to be active. We're getting into the Sixers second half preview. We're getting NBA second half preview. We're going to talk about the MLB lockout, and we're going to talk about free agency, the NFL. It's such a juggernaut. We're already talking about franchise tagging guys. Tomorrow, all week, you can franchise tag guys, and then, boom, you're right in the free agency. Boom, you're right into the draft. Boom, you're right in the mini camps. Boom, you're right in the training camp. All of a sudden, you're kicking the ball in week one. It's crazy how the NFL has set that up to just roll right into the other month after month, year after year. The wheel never stops turning. We're going to talk about the offseason right here tonight. We're also going to talk about the MLB lockout. I think they have a lot to learn from the NFL. They met for a whopping 5 hours today. Wow, a whole 5 hours. Your season hangs in the balance. And you're just now starting to meet every day. And the first day of the week, Monday, you meet for a whole 5 hours. Let's get right into it. Let's get into our poll question. Our poll question is brought to you by Aria Public Adjusters. There's their phone number right there, 813-564-3364. If you have property damage, home damage, we may be able to help you. Don't fight your homeowner's insurance alone. Contact Aria Public Adjusters. There's their phone number. Let them know A2D sent you. They'll hook you up. Don't fight alone. There's no need to fight alone. We got a whole family here. It's way easier with an army, folks. So tell them A2D Radio sent you, and don't fight that battle alone. It's your home. It's your life. It's your family. It's your kids. Take it seriously. Call Area Public Adjusting. 813-564-3364. We're going to start with the festivities that were NBA weekend. Obviously we had the Pro Bowl, which is a total joke. Everybody knows that. So our poll question is, were you entertained by the events of NBA All-Star Weekend? It's a strong disagree from me. That's not basketball. Nothing about this weekend was basketball. Now, I know that everyone's going to say I'm being negative, and I can't expect these guys to go out there in an exhibition and play like it's Game 7 of the NBA Finals. I get all that. But there's got to be a medium somewhere with these All-Star games. There's got to be. The Pro Bowl, guys treat it like a vacation. It's at the end of the year. It's in Hawaii. They're beat up. They're battered. They're bruised. Guys bail out. The guys that made the Super Bowl aren't even there. So it's a mess to begin with. And this year was just the worst I've ever seen it. So it's not real football with the Pro Bowl. And you get to the NBA. The NBA All-Star Weekend was once a great thing. You know, the game is the game, but you had Saturday night was must-see TV. I always loved watching NBA Saturday night as a little kid. It was awesome. Absolutely awesome. You had the dunk contest, which guys actually participated in the dunk contest, and it was exciting, and you had the three-point thing, and they mixed in, you know, kind of some other things that were exciting. So you get the All-Star Weekend. I was not entertained. I was not impressed by anything. Anyone, thing, anybody, not one aspect. I shouldn't say that. Very few aspects of NBA All-Star Weekend entertained me. Let's go to Friday night. I'll give a thumbs up to the Rising Stars Challenge. You know, you had 4 teams. You had a lot of good, young, promising players. Tyrese Maxey represented well. Our Philadelphia 76ers. That was cool. I can get behind that. They should keep that around. So you get the four teams, the whole thing. You get the tournament. They mix it up. They're loose. They're trying hard. You know, they're not the prima donnas that the NBA produces. They're still young puppies. You know, they don't know any better. That this doesn't mean anything. So they go out there and they give it their all. So as a whole, no, I wasn't entertained by NBA All-Star Weekend. I was entertained Friday night by the Rising Stars Challenge. Because Tyrese Maxey was in it. I'm a big Tyrese Maxey fan. I think everybody in Philadelphia is a big Tyrese Maxey fan at this point. And the format was something that was kind of cool. You get the legends, they pick their teams, and they go at it. So there's a competition aspect of it from, you know, the veteran legends captain standpoint. And then the guys, relatively speaking, got after it. Then it was all downhill from there. I mean, are we kidding me with this skills challenge? This team of 3, the rookies, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Antetokounmpos getting in the steel cage for a steel cage death match with the skills competition. That skills competition represents how you are at basketball. In what way did that skills competition represent anything that you would have to do in a regular basketball game? You're trying too hard. Remember when they used to have, you know, you had the different circles on the floor, and you know, you had a WNBA person, a living legend, and an active person, and you had to make a layup, a corner 3, a top of the key 3, a foul shot, and a half court shot. I forget exactly how they did it, but it was way more entertaining than that garbage skills contest that I watched on Saturday night. Absolutely horrendous. You start off, you're throwing the ball through a hoop that's the size of Texas. I could do that. Anybody could do that. My sister could do that. She's on the men with a torn ACL. Throw the ball through a hoop that's as big as Texas. Then you got to dribble around 3 goofy-ass mannequins set up on the floor. Okay, so you have to do a little bit of agility, dribble around some things that are standing still. Really? That's the best we can come up with on NBA Saturday night? People bought tickets for this, folks. People paid good, hard-earned money to watch that nonsense. Then you got to hit a floater, and then you got to go to the corner, and they have this monstrosity of a windmill that's supposed to act as a defender. These are professional basketball players, okay? A stupid gimmick windmill is not going to deter them from making a corner three. Not to mention, they didn't have to make a corner three. All they had to do was chuck the ball up near the rim 3 times as quick as possible to move on to the next stage. So, failure all around. I don't even know who won the skills contest. I think the Rooks won.
There was the Cavaliers who won.
Team, so good for them. Okay. I actually forgot. Maybe I would have had more of an open mind if I actually remembered that LeBron was on the Cavaliers 2 points in his career, and he's going back to Cleveland. I know it's an exhibition, but maybe if I remember that, I would have have a more positive outlook going into it. But I mean, give me a break. Then you go to the 3-point contest. Look, the 3-point contest has been the same 3-point contest as always. It's good. I wish more of the sharps. Steph Curry made 15 threes in the real All-Star game, dropped a 50-burger, got the MVP. I wish he would be in the 3-point contest. I wish his brother Seth, who's an outstanding shooter, would be in the 3-point contest. Klay Thompson, I know he's coming off some injuries. He just get back in the swing of things, but he's a former champion in the 3-point contest. Let's get those guys in. Anyway, Karl Anthony Towns, he wins the 3-point contest. 7-footer, one of the great young stars. I guess he's not really a star. He's Supermax eligible in the offseason, so I guess he's not really young anymore. He gets hit in there in Minnesota, even though Minnesota's got a nice, exciting young core. We're going to touch on them in my second half preview of the NBA, because I think that with Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell, they got some guys over there in Minnesota. They might be able to win a playoff series if everything falls right. So the 3-point contest, okay. But, am I supposed to be entertained by that? It's the same thing it's been for the past 50 years, and not all of the elite shooters participated. Then you get to the dunk contest, which they should just do away with. Absolutely 100% do away with. You have Jalen Green. If it takes you more than 5 times to do a dunk, you got to pick something easier. You got to pick something that you got to stay in your lane. You got to pick something that's actually attainable. Am I supposed to be impressed? Look, I can't dunk a basketball. Never have, never will, ever in my life have been close to dunking a basketball. I don't even know if I could dunk a basketball if I adjusted the rim down to the lowest level. I still might not even be able to dunk. So cool. But it's a dunk contest. These are professionals. These guys have huge bunnies. You got to pick a dunk that you can get on the first couple of tries. And they showed Shaq in the audience, and I don't think he could have been less interested in the dunk contest. I'm pretty sure the Golden State Warriors sent their locker room attendant into the dunk contest because they couldn't find anybody else. I don't know who that guy was. I've never seen him play a minute of real basketball. Give me a break with that guy. I guess they call it the Rising Stars dunk contest now. So it's got to be young guys. But I don't even know his name. I don't care what his name is. He's never done a thing in the league. He shouldn't be in the dunk contest. If he can't fill out a field to be in the dunk contest, you shouldn't have a dunk contest. It's plain and simple. Plain and simple. Don't have a dunk contest. It's nuts. And then you get to the game on Sunday, and, that's not an accurate depiction of basketball. Like I said at the top of the show, I don't expect these to go in and go at it like it's game of the NBA Finals. I don't. I understand. But, it's just a bunch of me guys saying, look at me, playing with their buddies. Look at Chris Paul. How big of a crumb is Chris Paul? Are you kidding me? If I were the member of the Phoenix Suns, I would put Chris Paul's head through a wall for going out there with a broken thumb in an exhibition just so he can get an assist to keep his all-star game assist streak alive. This is why Chris Paul hasn't won anything and never will win anything in his career in the NBA because of nonsense like that. You have a chance to win a title. You have a fractured thumb. You're going to go out there just to get a stupid, measly assist in an exhibition game? Are you nuts? Like, what if you aggravated it? And you're out for even longer. You're already weeks. That's probably going to put you pretty damn close to the end of the regular season. So I didn't get that. That left a sour taste in my mouth at the whole top of the game. And I'm watching guys launch threes and guys throw alley-oops and everybody. Like, if you're going to play defense in the All-Star game, just stand out there with your camera. Watch John Morant dunk and do alley-oops. If you want to watch John Morant dunk, why don't you go tell him to be in the dunk contest? Make All-Star Weekend a little more entertaining for the fans. And I know it was a competitive game at the end, and LeBron hits the shot, and I don't even understand how the rules work at the end. That's how little interested I am in the NBA All-Star game. It was all of a sudden became a race to 163, and LeBron hits a sweet fadeaway over I forget who he hit it over, but to win the game, to get his team to 163. So now LeBron's 5-0 in the new All-Star format where they have the cast and pick your team and the whole thing. I'd much rather see an East versus West game at this point. Switch it back. Maybe do a USA versus the world All-Star game. Maybe that can put some juice in the All-Star game. I don't know. But Friday night was good. Saturday night was a train wreck. And Sunday night was just – it is what it is. What do you want me to say? It's a bunch of me guys showing off their skills, and then it gets competitive in the last little bit. So, what do you guys think about the NBA All-Star game? Let us know in the comments. Pete Evans, he's in the house. Tom Arnone, he's in the house. One-man band tonight. Yeah, Brad's off living it up in St. Martin. So, I'm gonna solo it tonight, and we'll see how long we go, and we'll mix it up. We got a lot of topics on the docket tonight. NFL free agency. I know Pete Evans and his crew. Chrome and Chucks and all them. Thursday on Birds of a Feather. They're going to be talking NFL free agency. It's franchise tag week. What's going to happen with Devontae Adams? Who's going to get traded when the new league year starts? There's going to be a lot of moving and shaking. I had a couple names hand selected for Howie Roseman to gobble up in free agency that can help the Eagles win football games next year, and also may probably leave you enough cap space to be able to make a splash for one Russell Wilson, which I want to do. Pete Evans, I disagree with the poll, so he agrees with me. He wasn't entertained. The dunk contest was putrid. Boy, Jalen Green, man. Ugh. Sorry. I thought it was a two-player draft last draft with Cunningham and Jalen Green at the top. I thought Jalen Green was really going to be able to go after it, get after it on the perimeter and get you buckets. He's young, so I don't want to just alienate the kid as of yet. But, I mean, boy, he is inefficient, and he didn't do anything for his brand on Saturday night in that dunk contest. I'll tell you that. In the crowd, yeah, I feel Troy H. I feel bad for the crowd. I feel bad for anyone who paid money because I'm sure it was expensive because everything's expensive today and these days. Everything's expensive, especially luxury tickets like NBA All-Star Weekend. I don't even know what they cost. Should have been free. The NBA should have paid people to go to watch that Saturday night nonsense. And they even did their best to get, the crowd involved with the right off the bat with the skills challenge with Team Cleveland getting in there, winning that thing.
Yeah, I'll probably chime in on this since I was hanging out in the back end.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with a lot of people regarding the dunk contest. That was probably, if not the worst dunk contest I've ever witnessed.
Frank, who was that guy? Who was that guy on the Warriors that was in the dunk contest?
Oh, Juan Toscano Anderson?
Yeah, Juan Toscano. I know his name, but who is he?
He's just a guy. That's
is he the Warriors towel boy? I mean,
that's what I saw. Like these were just a bunch of guys. Maybe factor in Jalen Green and Obi Toppin, but other than that, like you hype this up. You know, this was the big showcase of like at least for the past several years. You highlight the slam dunk contest. That's what everybody tuned in to watch for. But what I saw, I would have to second guess myself and say maybe not have the slam dunk contest at the end of the night, knowing how bad that was.
Period. Like,
yeah.
Remember 01? I think it was 01 when Vince Carter went out there and just stole the show.
Oh, yeah.
He scared everyone away.
It's over. And then you look at the Levine Gordon dunk contest from a couple of years
ago. Was a good one. I forgot about that one.
That was probably one of the best dunk contests I personally witnessed. I mean, I didn't see the Vince Carter one. You know, I was a little young for the Vince Carter one. I do remember a little bit of the Jason Richardson dunks, but the Levine Gordon
he was a good one too.
Showdown. That is the standard of what you should have your dunk contest.
But that should
be the standard.
The Levine Gordon one was great because it was a duel, you know?
Yeah.
It wasn't. And then the 3-point, I don't know what you do with the 3-point. Like, you can't really do anything except get the best really shooters in there.
Yeah, which I was entertained by the 3-point contest. I mean, I liked how close it was between Trae Young and Cat. But you know, the 3-point contest wasn't bad. I kind of got a kick out of the skills challenge. I mean, I kind of enjoyed it a little bit. I like the team format, like how they did it this year. Friday, I didn't catch any of it only because I dread the celebrity game. And that's usually like, the All-Star weekend's here. Oh, it's a celebrity game. All right, change the channel. I didn't see the celebrity. I don't care about yeah, apparently like all the memes were like towards Machine Gun
If
Kelly,
I want to go
like,
watch washed up old men play basketball, I'll go down to the local rec here in Bucks County and lace up my kicks and do it that way. That's fine by me.
Or you could have got some of the NBA 75 legends come in.
First off, the NBA is in a really bright spot right now.
Yes.
Like, there's so many young guys. And there's never been more power in the NBA. Because these 3-man super teams, they're out the window. Now everyone has 2. Philly has 2. Milwaukee has 2. The Warriors are probably the closest to a big 3, but Draymond's not even playing. Like, Phoenix they might be close to a 3 as well with Booker and Ayton and Chris Paul. But Chris Paul's hurt now too. What'd you make of that, Frank? Chris Paul going out there with a broken thumb just to get an assist for his All-Star game resume.
I mean, I didn't even realize that he even played at all. I knew about the fractured thumb going into the game, but I didn't know if he was actually going to step on the court and do it. But from what I heard with the 1 assist and call it a day, I mean, what can you do about it? You found out about your thumb the day of. I mean, you got to do something. I mean, I wish he could have played a little bit more, but you got to get that thumb ready for the playoffs.
I mean, you've been producing our show for the last 5 years. You know I can't stand Chris Paul.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I can't stand Chris Paul. Just the look of him. Like, he goes out there, he's always got his mean mug on with his shorts all the way up to his belly button and his shirt tucked in like he's Mr. Professional. And he goes out in Game 7 and spits the bit every damn time. I'd have a huge problem with Chris Paul if I was a Phoenix Sun teammate right now. Huge problem. Pete Evans, Vince was 2000, not 2001. But yeah, I mean, he stole the show. But like,
Yeah.
I think Kobe won one in like 98.
Yep.
And then Vince stole the show in 2000. Then I think Richardson went out and stole the show.
Yeah.
And then he
I
had
think
a
he
bunch
won
of nothing. Everyone got scared.
Yeah. And then you had the
And
Nate
then
Robinson
you had the
dunks.
duel. I mean, I don't know what you do. Because you have – then you get into the All-Star game debate. And this is why baseball is the king All-Star game. Because there's no way to not go out there and play baseball. Like, what are you going to do? Just not catch a fly ball? If you're the center fielder, what are you going to do? Just not catch a fly ball that's hit right to you?
Right.
Are you going to not try like Torrey Hunter? Remember in Milwaukee that one year, Barry Bonds hit a bomb and Torrey Hunter brought it back? Like, he didn't care. He didn't care about his body. You're playing baseball. You're in the moment. You know?
Yep.
Like, what are you going to do? Half-ass a swing out there against Jacob deGrom? No, you're going to go out there. You're trying to get a hit off Jacob deGrom. That's why baseball's the best all-star game there is. Hockey should be commended because hockey was stale. And then they do the 3-on-3 thing now where each division has a team. Which it's not hockey. I get that, but it's entertaining. Right? And then our boy Giroux, he gets the MVP this year, hopefully upping his trade value. See, they played a matinee today, the Flyers. They had 10,000 fans. What's that, like 10, 15% of the facility filled for a matinee on a holiday? Ugh.
Yeah. I didn't even know that the game was on ESPN Plus. I thought, all right, I'm gonna like turn it on.
I saw it was on, and I almost just bet the Flyers for the hell of it with the Bet USA promotion, but I figured I didn't, and they lost in overtime. So Bob Brinkman, that dunk contest was really weak. The 3-point shooters were pretty good. Troy, we might as well have Bassey in the dunk contest.
As much as I
does he mean B-ball Paul? Because B-ball Paul with the weak ass windmill.
I mean, my guy Charles Bassey could have made that dunk, that B-ball Paul miss, but I'm not risking Bassey's knees in a dunk contest.
Yeah, because I mean, the way the roster is constructed right now, the Sixers are going to need Bassey.
Yeah,
big time. All of our comments tonight are brought to you by Gleason's Bar and Grill. Where is it here?
There we go.
Yeah, Gleason's Bar and Grill, 6700 Mill Creek Avenue in Levittown. That's my neck of the woods up here in Bucks County. A2D Radio. Get you 10% off your order, dine in or take out online. Doesn't matter. Gleason's Bar and Steaks.com. It's a good place. Great lunch specials, and you get 10% off. Tell them we sent you. Total no-brainer. Habib Bakash, check us out on YouTube. I was hoping for Embiid for MVP, so he would get the hat trick, triple crown of MVP awards. Yeah, but I mean, Steph goes out there and drops 50 and makes 15 threes.
That was the really entertaining part with Steph. It's like, oh my goodness, like how much is he going to rack up?
But like how many of those threes are like no one's standing around, no one's closing out, no one's even attempting to guard him. And I know he pulled up from way deep on a couple of them, which is fun and cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, Joe was no slouch. Absolutely no slouch. I think he had 36 and 8 in the game. He kind of did what he wanted when he wanted against the NBA's best, albeit in a relaxed defensive setting, to put it kindly. There's Brad Ryer checking in from St. Thomas. Hope he's having a good time. Hopefully he's lotioning up. Get him back here safe and sound, the host of Sports Hounds with me. Yeah, and Brian Daly remembers that Rob Barry had fun and threw Torrey over his shoulder. It's awesome. And there's so many moments like that. Like, when's the last time there was an iconic moment in an NBA All-Star game? Like, you had 1999 at Fenway Park where Ted Williams threw out the first pitch, right? Like, you had whatever, the all-century team before the game. all these legends in the house. That's an iconic moment in MLB history, the 1999 All-Star Game. I think Pedro Martinez struck out, faced 9 batters, had 9 strikes, something crazy like that. Iconic moment in MLB history. How about 03, when Cal Ripken Jr., him and A-Rod switched spots? Remember that? And then Cal Ripken hits a home run in his final All-Star game. It's an iconic moment. Absolute iconic moment. And we just talked about it. Torrey Hunter robbing Barry Bonds of a home run, and then Barry Bonds is so yoked up on steroids, which I don't care about, by the way. He should still be in the Hall of Fame, but he's so yoked up on steroids. He throws Torrey Hunter over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes, like he's nothing, and has a full. That's an iconic moment in Major League Baseball history. When's the last time I had one of those in the NBA? And don't even get me started on the Pro Bowl, because there's no iconic moments in NFL history happening in the NFL Pro Bowl. None. And they try and do this skills contest where they're playing dodgeball. I don't get the NFL.
Yeah.
I think the Sixers, Habib, he's in the house. He thinks the Sixers can be like the 08 Celtics. They're going to have to pony up big time on the defensive end of the floor to be like the 08 Celtics. Because the 08 Celtics were mean and nasty on the defensive end of the floor. You had Paul Pierce, you had Kevin Garnett, you had Rajon Rondo, you had Glenn Davis, you had Big Perk. So you had defensive studs through and through there. You got, I think, just enough defense on this Sixers team to potentially get to an NBA Finals. I think there's a little work to be done for Daryl Morey on the buyout market, but I believe in Daryl Morey. We talked about it yesterday. Yesterday on the rant. Brian Daly, it's very entertaining with 3-on-3, and the winning team gets $1 million to go to their favorite charity. And that's the NHL All-Star Game. Became a bad All-Star Game to an average All-Star Game.
I like the new format. Yeah.
I think my favorite days of the NHL All-Star Game. Remember when they did USA versus the world?
Yes. Those I remember.
I don't know how old you are, Frank. How old are you?
I'm 29.
You're 29. So I got 3 years on me. So what? You're like 2000, 2001 on is what you remember.
Pretty much. I do recall the USA versus the World games. And then I don't remember in the East and West, but I do remember some of the 3-on-3, especially the year when John Scott of the Coyotes won MVP because fans voted him in. They stuffed the ballot box. They brought him in. He won the MVP that year just out of nowhere. Probably the best title that the Coyotes have ever had.
There's another team that shouldn't have a professional. The Arizona should not have a hockey team. They're playing in an arena that sits 2,500 people next year.
Yeah.
You're a professional
cut your
sports
losses,
franchise?
Jerry. Just move the team.
Troy H. All right, let's get on. We got topic number 2. We're talking about the NBA. NBA starts off Friday, so we buried the NBA All-Star Game. At least we give credit where credit was due on Friday night, but that's not the majority. Greg Milakovic, he disagrees to the poll. However, I didn't watch a little second of any of that BS. It was tough. I think I made it. I think it was 35-34 when I flipped off the actual game, and I just watched the highlights. But Friday night, I was pretty locked in after work, and Saturday, I was pretty much locked in for the most part. Bryce Blackwell, there's an iconic Pro Bowl moment when Sean Taylor lit up the punter. It's a good call by Bryce. That's a good call by Bryce. I forgot about that. Let's start getting ready for Friday night, the start of a new era of the Sixers. Absolutely, Bob Brinkman. Our second half NBA preview tonight is going to be brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy, Dr. Paul Vidal. He's our doc. Make him yours too. 2 convenient locations in Burlington and Cherry Hill. Like I said, he's our doc. Make him yours too. Burlington and Cherry Hill at 2 convenient locations. We have the second half of the NBA. Second half of the NBA going to kick off on Thursday night. Sixers play Friday night against the Minnesota Timberwolves. A worthy adversary. James Harden, Daryl Morey, all indications are that James Harden's hamstring is miraculously fine now. Just like Ben Simmons doesn't have mental illness anymore. Even though he's milking that for all it's worth over there in Brooklyn. Look, I think this thing's really going to work here with Joel Embiid and James Harden. And Frank, you've listened to us for 5 years, and I like to bury the Sixers absolutely every chance I get for that scam-hinky trash process that they perpetrated on this fan base. Hoodwinked and swindled this fan base into thinking that losing on purpose was the only way to build a champion. Now, they're not champions yet, but this is the closest that they're going to get. You have James Harden. You have Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is an absolute monster. He's an absolute monster. And now you have a star on the perimeter in James Harden. This is why I think that this team, this edition of the Sixers, if they add a guard in the buyout market, is better than the 2019 version that lost in Toronto on that Mickey Mouse shot by Kawhi Leonard. That 2019 was really good. You had a Ben Simmons that was engaged. You had Jimmy Butler, who was just a straight dog on the perimeter. James Harden, way more talented than Jimmy Butler, but Jimmy Butler played defense, and he was an absolute dog. You had Tobias on the wing, and you had Joe down low. That was a good team.
It was a great
Joel
team.
Embiid and James Harden have the potential to be a great team.
Yep.
A special duo. Look, it's a league of stars. I don't understand people who want to get hung up on role players on this Brooklyn Nets trade. I don't understand. You're getting rid of a guy who was never going to play for you in the first place, and you get back James Harden. It's Daryl Morey's fault. Like I said, the longer you wait, the less you get back. Or in this case, a special circumstance, you had to attach guys like Andre Drummond and Seth Curry in order to get the piece that you desired in James Harden. But you could have traded Ben Simmons at the draft for DeJounte Murray, if internet rumors are true.
Mm-hmm.
DeJounte Murray is a walking triple-double. Then you have DeJounte Murray, an excellent player who's 24 years old, who's not going to be eligible for a Supermax anytime soon. Tobias, Seth, Drummond, the whole thing. But you wait, and you got to bite the bullet, and you got to give up Drummond, and you got to give up Seth Curry, and who cares about draft picks? Really, who cares about draft picks? One is until 2027.
Yeah.
So who cares about draft picks? It's impossible to win a trade in the NBA if you do not receive the best player.
Yep.
The Sixers received far and away the best player in the trade. The best player the Nets got, he's a Looney Tune. You don't know what you're getting with that guy. Could it potentially work big time there in Brooklyn with Ben Simmons? You betcha. Is he going to feel like playing? I don't know. Is he going to wake up tomorrow and just retire from basketball? I don't know. Is he going to be able to play off the ball? I don't know. Nobody knows. And like a quartet of Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant isn't winning you a championship. I'm not scared of the Nets in the least. Bring on the Nets. The Heat are better than the Nets. The Sixers are better than the Nets. The Bulls are better than the Nets. Milwaukee's better than the Nets. I'm not so sure Brooklyn beats Cleveland in a 7-game series. Cleveland's pretty good. And they don't even have Colin Sexton. I'm not sure if he's coming back this year, but if he does, that's a very promising young core. And JB Bickerstaff out of nowhere is probably the coach of the year in the NBA. So people are sleeping on the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers could be the Hawks of this year in the Eastern Conference. they sneak into the second round. They're in the Final Four of the East. They catch one of these big boys sleeping, and all of a sudden they're 4 wins away from the NBA Finals. I could totally see that happening because they got Karis LeVert at the deadline for nothing. Darius Garland's an all-star. They're so long and athletic underneath. Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, Lauri Markkanen, if he could ever stay healthy. That's an interesting team in the East. Nobody's talking about it. And don't look now, but the Boston Celtics are playing really good basketball. They beat the Sixers by 48. And the Sixers rolled, and it was an off night. Yeah. And I get it. And Harden wasn't in, and they're stretched thin. But they only played 48 minutes in the game. And Boston lit up the Sixers in Philadelphia. A 48-point deficit. It looks like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are sort of starting to figure it out, learning how to play together. And they get Derek White from the Spurs at the deadline, which I'm not going to say that makes you worse, because it doesn't. It makes you better, certainly. But they didn't really make a splash move at the deadline. But I don't know. Who wins in a 7-game series, Boston or Brooklyn?
Man, that's a good question.
Like, if I gave you, like, fuck one, marry one, kill one. Cleveland, Boston, Brooklyn. Who you going with? How you answer that one?
Let's see. I'm not too high on Cleveland. They're a young team. They look really good, but I'm just not ready to take them seriously.
So you're bumping them off. You're rubbing them out. You're whacking them.
I am rubbing them out.
Okay.
Now between Brooklyn and Boston. I mean, with Boston playing like they have been, on the hot streak they're going. I mean, I could ride the hot hand and go with Boston, but Brooklyn, you just don't know what's going to happen in the near future.
Yeah,
especially with everything going on regarding Kyrie, and depending on what Kyrie's
like
going to do
later. Stand that's fun for the night, but then you wake up in the morning and you realize they're batshit crazy.
Oh, pretty much.
Can't trust them. So, and I don't think it can be disputed. Whatever order you want to put them in, that it's Miami, it's Chicago, it's Milwaukee, and it's Philadelphia at the top of the Eastern Conference. That should be the Final Four in the East, barring something crazy happening.
Right.
But, and you have Toronto down there too. You get Spicy P, healthy, Scotty Barnes, great rookie. I didn't think he was going to be this good at all, especially this good this quick. Van Vliet. So that's not the easiest of outs. I tell you what, I don't know if Brooklyn's even guaranteed a spot in the real playoffs.
Right.
If it's a one and done situation and Boston's playing Brooklyn for, say, the 8 seed, Brooklyn will probably be favored. I don't know if they win. I don't know if they win at all.
Yeah.
Talk about demons. Between Ben Simmons and Boston. Ben Simmons, Brad Stevens, and the Boston Celtics, they wrote the book on defending Ben Simmons in the playoffs. Remember the one series they just lined up. It was like a goal line defense. They just lined him up. They said, "Okay, go ahead, shoot, Ben. Go ahead and shoot." He wouldn't do it. Wouldn't do it at all. So you want to talk about demons? Troy H. Drummond is overrated. He sucks as a starter. Just ask Don. Look, I think Andre Drummond is first off, he doesn't stink. He doesn't. And I'm the first person to tell you when somebody stinks, and I'm loud about it. Andre Drummond does not stink.
He does not.
He's a mid-90s center in 2022 is his problem. He can't shoot worth a lick. He can't shoot foul shots. He's a rebounding machine, and he's got low post moves. That day is dead in the NBA. The NBA has no room for that type of player as a starter, at least. So he's relegated to a bench player. That's why I have no problem giving him up on a James Harden trade. And Detroit, he missed the glory days of Detroit. He was in that transition phase. I don't put Detroit's failures on. The failures of the Detroit Pistons are not on Andre Drummond. Bob Brinkman, Joe should get 30, Harden 25, Harris 20. That should get us 100-plus points every night, a lot of wins, just be healthy. Yeah, I think that 75 number from Tobias, Embiid, and Harden is a good over-under.
Mm-hmm.
If those three get you over 75 points, absolutely no reason you should lose basketball games. Doesn't mean you're going to go undefeated, but you should have a really, really, really good chance to win basketball games. Kelly Olynyk exposes Ben. I think Ben exposes Ben more than anybody else.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's just not interested in getting better. Like, people scared of Brooklyn. If you're in the chat, like, show yourself. Show yourself. If you're scared of Brooklyn, what do you think's going to be different? Ben Simmons was not sitting out basketball games here in Philadelphia and going to the gym every day at 6 a.m. to put up shots. He's not in game shape here or physically. Like, Ben Simmons is Ben Simmons now, as he was, as he will be in the future. There's no surprises there. Right? Like, he's going to be the same guy. And look, I have no problem. I never had an issue here in Philadelphia with Ben Simmons, the basketball player. I thought he got a lot of criticism that he didn't really deserve. I think a lot of people, that's what happens in society now. People focus on what you can't do rather than what you can do. So I have no problem with Ben Simmons, the basketball player. He's a good basketball player. He is. He's 6'10". He's got great handles. He can cover 1 through 5. He can push pace, and he can make his teammates better. That's 4 or 5 things that he's elite at. But he has no interest in getting better at the things that he's not elite at. And he was never going to show up here, so, it's moot anyway.
Yep.
But, like, he's not – what do you think? He's going to be a 90% foul shooter in Brooklyn? No. What do you think he's going to be like this mid-range, like Karl Malone type mid-range jump shooter? No. He needs to be a Steph Curry all of a sudden, just jack threes, make 15 threes a night, drop 50? No. You know what you're getting with Ben Simmons. So people who are scared of Brooklyn, I don't understand. I don't get it. And if you look at the top of the East is going to be interesting. I think there's a lot less questions in the West as there are in the East. Because everything flipped. Everything flipped. Used to be West, the dominant West, and LeBron would just coast to the final. Not like that anymore. The East is better than the West. I can make a case for what we kind of did. I don't know how it can be argued that the top four are the top 4 in the East. But you can make a strong case for Boston getting to an Eastern Conference final. You can make a little bit of a case for Cleveland getting to the Eastern Conference finals. And you can certainly make a case for Brooklyn, even though I'm not buying that case. You can make a case for Brooklyn getting the Eastern Conference finals. So, I don't know. I think the Sixers are going to be there. I think Milwaukee's going to be there. And why do I feel like the Sixers are going to have to go through Boston to get somewhere, finally? It hasn't really gone that great the last couple times we've played Boston in the finals. Mm-hmm. And they just beat us by 48. So, somewhere along the line, I think the Sixers are going to have to beat their arch rival Boston Celtics to get to an Eastern Conference Finals. And I think the Milwaukee Bucks are going to be there waiting for it because Giannis is unstoppable.
Yeah.
He's unreal. Chris Middleton is terrific. Drew Holiday is terrific. They have a great coach. They have a great supporting cast. And like I said it yesterday, the pressure's on Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers has the most pressure on him in the Eastern Conference, I would say, looking at it long term. Are we getting Doc that overachieved with almost no talent in Orlando? Are we getting championship coach Doc that can manage egos and get it done with talent? Are we getting Doc that's the NBA, one of the 15 greatest coaches in NBA history on the NBA 75? Or am I getting 10-man rotation Doc? Am I getting hockey line changes Doc? Am I getting Doc that blows 3-1 leads in the playoffs? There's no excuses. Doc went out after the Phoenix Suns game. Sixers lost by 5 at home. He told the media out loud, which I think was his message to Daryl Morey, that, yo, Holmes, you got to get something done. You got to help me out here. I need a guard. Daryl Morey did his job, went out and got him James Harden. Shifts all the pressure to Doc Rivers. No one has more pressure on them in the NBA than Doc Rivers. Because if you don't make at least the Eastern Conference Finals this year, I don't know where you go with Doc. I don't know if you can bring him back. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't know either, to be honest. It's tough,
because
especially with right. And you look at the rumors with, there might be a chance that, if Rivers doesn't succeed this year, we might see a replacement and possibly Mike D'Antoni. Like, that's what it's probably going to end up being. Getting a guy like D'Antoni, is the D'Antoni system going to work with Joel Embiid? And that's a question mark.
Morey's going to get as many, because Morey and the Rockets, Morey built a team to beat the Warriors, and my boy Chris Paul pussied out and didn't play a lick in Game 7, so they lost. So Daryl Morey and Mike D'Antoni, they built a team and coached a team that was going to take down the mighty Warriors if Chris Paul had a stack between his legs and didn't care. It wasn't a me guy and care about assists in a freaking exhibition game. Like, I don't understand. Chris Paul, you can go out there and get an assist in a freaking all-star game to keep that streak alive, but you can't give your team any minutes in Game 7. What was that, 19? That Western Conference Finals, Game 7? They had him. They had Game 7 in their building. And Chris Paul, no, I'm not even going to try.
Yep.
Not even going to try. So, I know Morey knows he can win with D'Antoni. I know that. And I know he knows he can win with Harden because he was that close in Houston. And obviously, anybody can win with Joe. He's the best player on the planet. So, if you go out and you lose to Milwaukee in 7 games or 6 games in a hard-fought series, okay, you finally sniffed the Eastern Conference Finals. And I'll bring Doc back. But if you lose in the second round again, I don't know if I can justify bringing Doc Rivers back. I really don't. Doc has a tremendous amount of pressure. A tremendous amount of pressure on him. And God forbid you face the Nets in the first round and they send you packing, the city will burn. I know I'll be fuming. A lot of people will be fuming. If Ben Simmons sends this basketball team home with James Harden, hell will have no fury on Doc Rivers and the Philadelphia 76ers.
Absolutely.
And I'll be the first in line to take a shot. Benny DeLong, he only good on defense. Offense, he sucks. I'm assuming that he's talking about Andre Drummond. Tom Hedrick, he thinks the Nets are going to win the East. I wonder where Tom Hedrick, where's your fandom lie? We're a national show here. It's okay to be fans of other people and look at this show. It's not all Philly all the time here on the Sports Hound. We like to talk about everything. I'd be interested to know where Tom's fandom lies. Because I'm the biggest Sixers hater. By anyone that does a show here, I'm the biggest Sixers hater by far. Even bigger than Greg Milakovic, who hates everything.
Yeah.
Except hole 16 at the Waste Management TPC Scottsdale. Which, how could you hate that? But, They have a squad. It's hard not to be excited. If I'm excited about the Sixers going forward, everybody should be. And nobody should be scared of the Nets and that loser, Ben Simmons. He's not going to change. He's not. The talent on this team will make Doc better. Harden will lead on the floor. I think Joe's got to lead on the floor. I don't know if Harden is that leader, which is part of the reason why him and Chris Paul couldn't win in Houston, because neither of them are leaders. You know, guys see that James Harden's quit on now 2 teams because he was unhappy. You know, he quit on Houston, put on a fat suit to warm up, get himself out of there. And then he's with Durant. He's with Kyrie. He's with 2 other megastars, and he's not happy there. So he got all of a sudden his hamstring hurts. He forces out of there. So I think Joe's got to be the leader. Joe has to be the moral compass of this team. Even more so than Doc, I think. Doc's just got to keep the train on the tracks and not do things that make me want to put my foot through my TV, like hockey line-esque rotations. I do. I think if Doc keeps the train on the tracks and doesn't do anything mega stupid, this team should have no problem going to the Eastern Conference Finals. At least the Eastern Conference Finals. Troy H. Harden's been leading lately. Seems like he matured. I mean, I guess I missed that.
I mean, if we're going off with the bench stuff, I mean, I could see that. Now we'll see how he does it on Friday. For now.
But, you know, what if the Sixers lose 5 out of the break? Or something like that.
Right.
Is James Harden gonna be the head of the snake? Or is James Harden gonna quit? Usually he quits. So, you know, you always have that in the back of your mind. But I don't think James Harden's matured at all. I think it's like Ben Simmons. Like, why would I expect James Harden to be this alpha male leader in Philadelphia when he hasn't done that anywhere else? It's the same thing. So, no, I don't think James Harden has matured. And if it goes south, so does James Harden. If it goes north, like James Harden's happy right now. He doesn't have to deal with Kyrie, which I don't think he liked Steve Nash. I don't think he liked Kyrie. I don't think he liked how that whole situation got handled. So he wanted out. You know, how long till he wants out of here? So no, I don't trust James Harden as far as I do. Excellent player, but trusting him to be a leader, no. Joe's the moral compass. Joe's the leader of this team. That's how it's got to be. Troy H. Our bench is okay. Not really good, though. Look, I can buy our front court, Troy. I can buy the front court. I really can. I think you have enough in the front court. You have Joe. First off, Doc needs to stop with the hockey lines, which we've said 18 times on this broadcast already. Stop with the hockey lines. When push comes to shove, Maxi's getting 40 minutes, Joe's getting 40 minutes, Tobias is getting 40 minutes, and Harden's getting 40 minutes. That's just the way. That's the way it's going to be. Throwing out 40s, you know, Edward 40 hands, left and right, drinking all night. They're playing, but you look at the front court. You know, Niang can play a role. He can give me 12 in the playoffs. He can stand in the corner and make a couple shots, space the floor. I like Millsap. Millsap has to be a player. He's the throw-in in the trade. I mean, I was praying when I read the details of the trade that Nicholas Claxton was going to be in the trade instead of Millsap. But he's not. Okay, you get Millsap. I saw enough in the Milwaukee game from Millsap that maybe there can be a 10 to 12, 15-minute guy there, a rotational guy. And then in emergencies, I can go Tobias at the 4 and go small. Or I can bring Bassey or B-Ball Paul, whoever's got the hot hand off the bench. I'm good with the front court. I need another guard. I do, Daryl. If Daryl Moore is listening, go get me a guard. I saw Goran Dragic got signed by the Brooklyn Nets today.
Mm-hmm.
Good. That's fine. He's never healthy. He's old. I'm good on that. I am waiting to see Eric Bledsoe's who I want. I don't know what his situation is there in Portland. I heard rumors that he was going to get bought out, but I've heard no development since. Eric Bledsoe would be perfect. You put him in that Lou Williams 6-man role. He can transport the basketball up and down the floor. And if he gets cooking, he can get you 25, 30. Still a very good player. So he's the apple of my eye on the buyout market. Gary Harris would be okay. That would be a consolation prize because he can defend. He can defend really well. But he's not a ball handler. I need a ball handler. Frank, I'm sorry. I can't do it with Furkan. I can't do it with Shake in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. DJ Augustine. Yeah, but Troy, the only thing I'll say about DJ Augustine, that feels like George Hill. Right? Wasn't George Hill last year we got?
Yes, it was.
And everyone, including myself, got excited, thought he was going to be this rotational point guard, be able to transfer the ball up and down the floor and give you solid minutes off the bench. And he didn't do dick nothing.
Yeah.
This whole time. That's what I feel like a DJ Augustine would be. Sorry, but I mean, I'm not into DJ Augustine. Eric Bledsoe is my crown jewel, followed by Gary Harris. And then for argument's sake, let's say the Sixers do. So we got Bill Middlebrooks in the house. Ben had to go, but I feel like the Nets were in the same position with Harden. Don't think Curry and Drummond had to be part of the deal, one or the other. And agree with you on Doc. He's been garbage everywhere. Well, no, that's not really what I said, Bill, because he hasn't been garbage everywhere. Overachieved in Orlando, parlayed that into a Boston job, and won a championship in Boston. All right, so we got to get a little credit where credit's due on Doc. Now, he's frustrating. He's frustrating in LA with really good teams, blowing 3-1 leads, falling short here, losing to the Atlanta Hawks last year, doing some puzzling things in both situations. Ben had to go, but I don't understand how you want to tell me Curry and Drummond didn't have to be in the deal, one or the other, but clearly they did, or else the Nets weren't gonna play ball. And James Harden's not like Ben Simmons. When push comes to shove, James Harden would have played basketball for Brooklyn. I believe that. Even though he doesn't like Steve Nash, even though he hates Kyrie Irving. He would have joined forces with Durant, and they probably would have been a serious factor in the East. Much more of a serious factor than with Ben Simmons, Drummond, and Seth Curry. So clearly, all three guys that went to the Nets had to be in the trade, or else you don't get a deal done. And you can't have Ben Simmons here doing nothing for you. You had to make a deal. Had to make a deal. And this James Harden turmoil in Brooklyn just fell into your lap. So if they want Drummond and Curry, that's what you got to give them. That's the price of doing business. Now, if you want to rip Daryl Morey for waiting too long, like I have for months and months, that boxes you in to having give up Drummond and Curry in addition to Ben to get James Harden. That's totally fair. But Daryl Morey did what he had to do. He got Ben out. He got Harden in. And now we're going to go. And you look at the West, Troy H. with a Bledsoe update. From what I read, Bledsoe and Schroeder are likely staying with their teams, sadly. That's disappointing. Well, I don't know what Daryl Morey's going to do. Because it'll be a challenge. The East is going to be a challenge if they stay as constructed. I think they get to an Eastern Conference Finals, but when you look at Eastern Conference Finals and beyond, I don't know if they have that in them currently constructed. Furkan and Shake Milton would have to play out of their minds consistently for me to be confident in that. But I am confident this team gets to an Eastern Conference Finals, which I haven't said in a while here on these airwaves. Shake is okay. I like Niang. Millsap is slept on. Agree with you on Millsap. I agree with you on Niang. Like, Troy, if Shake were on the Warriors, how many minutes would he be getting? Not many. Not many. Then you look out west, touch on the West a little bit here. I think it's pretty clear cut that it's going to be the Suns and the Warriors, unless I'm missing someone.
No, I don't think
I mean,
so.
the Suns are going to be without Chris Paul for the next 6 to 8 weeks, but you got to imagine he'll be back for the playoffs. Really, he really doesn't have to be back until the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, they're 48-10. Crazy, tremendous record. And the Warriors are doing their thing out in Golden State. You know, they're about to get Wiseman back, and Draymond Green's about to start playing. Jonathan Kuminga, 7th pick in the draft. He's emerging. Starting to play well. Solid role player. Iggy's still playing. They have a really good team there, and they have Steph and Clay, the Splash Brothers. 2 teams I'll tell you to watch in the Western Conference that I really like. One's the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're going to be in here on Friday night for the James Harden debut. Look, you have 2 megastars in Anthony Edwards and Cat. And, yeah, I'm ready to make Anthony Edwards a megastar. That guy is good. He's a grown-ass man already in this league. And Cat's about to sign a Supermax. I swear if we sign Troy H., if we had a center like Lopez or Cantor, I'm going to flip out. I mean, it'd be Robin Lopez. That wouldn't be bad.
Yeah. I'd be fine with either of them, to be honest.
Ennis Cantor Freedom or whatever. What's his name now?
Yeah, Ennis Cantor Freedom, yes.
That's right. I got it right.
Yeah.
I didn't want to mess that up because it's cool what he did. He's an interesting guy. If you ever have a chance, you don't know the story of Ennis Cantor, you should Google it. He's a very interesting guy. He's been through a lot. Turkish governments put him through the ringer.
And I agree.
He's alive. He's kicking. He's a U.S. citizen, and he might be a Sixer soon.
And he's speaking out the current issues so far involving, regarding the Turkish government and the what's going on over in China right now. So,
Bill Middlebrook, yes, he's been trash. He's been riding the big 3 for way too long. He's been coaching for how long, for how many different teams, and hasn't done anything. But he's won a championship, so it's not like he has done something. Yes, he had talent, but you need talent to win in sports. That's just the way it is. You need talent. Nobody wins without talent. Like, let's see how this year plays out. If Dak doesn't make the Eastern Conference Finals this year, I'll crush him. Everyone will crush him. Your Wednesday night crew will crush him. The Sunday night crew, agree or disagree, they'll crush him. The Flight Zone will crush him. Coming on after this, Jimmy and Evan, they do a great job.
They will not be on tonight.
Oh, they're not on tonight?
They're not on tonight.
What are they studying? Young Bucks studying?
I do not know the exact situation.
February?
Yeah. Not sure what's going on, but they are taking the week off.
Bob Brinkman, I heard Favors might come to the Sixers. Okay. These are all bigs, though, Frank. I need a guard.
Yeah.
I need a guard. It's a guard league. I just need a guard. I need a guard. That's why, because that trade happened at 1. I'm like, great. He's got 2 hours to get another guard in here.
Right.
However he's going to do it. I don't know how he's going to do it because he just traded, kind of all your extra capital to bring Harden in.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever. You just get back to the Western Conference. I mentioned Minnesota. I think they're going to be a tough out because they got 2. You look at the duos. It's like NBA jams now in the NBA. The 2-on-2. It's not 3-on-3 anymore. You got Steph and Clay. You got Chris Paul and Devin Booker. You got Harden and Joe. You got Tatum and Brown. I put Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns as a legit duo in this league. And they have other stuff too. Russell's a good player. They had some pieces there. I think they're going to be a tough out in the West. And then I just love Memphis. They're not going to beat the Suns or the Warriors. I just love watching them play.
Yeah.
John Morant is so much fun. Yeah, they got Desmond Bain. They got a bunch of good players. They need to find someone. They need that tag team partner for John Morant. And I think they'll be contenders in the West. But, you look at the second half, I think it's pretty self-explanatory out West. And by the way, the Lakers stink. They absolutely stink. They couldn't cover me and you. Anthony Davis is hurt yet again. I mean, you're going down the second half. Russell Westbrook, I mean, good God. I mean, at what point, I mean, it's too late now because LeBron's 38, but how many bad decisions has LeBron made as a GM? Like, LeBron, the GM, is horrible.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He's
just
terrible.
Just so many to count.
I mean, like, you do the thing in Miami, right? Like, duh, obviously. And I don't think that works there without Spoelstra because it took them a failure against the Dallas Mavericks to get it right. And they still lost finals to the San Antonio Spurs. Rob Povey is in the house. He disagrees with the poll. NBA Salt Weekend is most irrelevant of all the major sports. Maybe Pro Bowl tops it, but their skills competition was pretty cool. So Pove is out on the Pro Bowl, and he's in on the skills. So Pove, you like the skills competition in the NFL over the NBA? The 3-point saves it for me for the NBA. There's not much I guess he's right. Not much going on besides the 3-point shootout these days in terms of the skills, the Saturday night festivities in the NBA. One last basketball note. Juwan Howard. I know you're a big college hoops guy, Frank.
Yep. Yeah, that's that was something.
And you know what? If you want to go, I caught the tail end of Agree to Disagree last night, and Uncle Sweeps hit it right on the head last night. Crumb of the week was Juwan Howard. His crumb of the week was Juwan Howard. He hit it right on the head. If you didn't see it, go download it in podcast form, Freaker, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, iTunes. He hit the nail right on the head. If you want to pack it, if you're getting run like Wisconsin ran Michigan, because Michigan's down this year, they're not that good. They got to mature a little bit. They got to get their recruits in. If you're getting run from a game and you want it to just be over, don't start pressing. Don't start pressing. I don't fault the Wisconsin coach at all for calling a timeout when his B team is getting pressed because Juwan Howard wants to close the gap and make the game look not as bad as it was on his home court. So if you're going to press, don't cry about it when the guy calls a timeout, okay, to prepare his second stringers for situations they might be in later in the season in the NCAA tournament because you're salty because you're not winning any games there in the Big Ten. And Juwan Howard and Big Blue, they probably aren't even going to be in the NCAA tournament. Very much on the bubble. So you can't cry about, and Sweeps last night, because he's a big baseball guy, a very good baseball player. I believe he coaches now. He says, if I steal down 10-0, right? If you steal down 10-0, like if I'm down 10-0 and I'm stealing trying to get back in the game, don't bitch when the guy steals on you up 10-0.
Yep.
You can't have a double standard like that. He articulated way better than I just articulated it.
Yeah.
By the way. That's why you should check it out. But and then you want to do a blow-by at the end. And then you want to swing, and you want to throw hands when the coach stops you. Juwan Howard's trying to do a blow-by on the Wisconsin coach, And the Wisconsin coach is like, whoa, hold on. Like, this happened. I did this because you did this. And Juwan Howard wants to swing. Not good. But great friend of the Sport Hounds, Phil Martelli, he's going to be in charge. He's going to be in charge there in Ann Arbor for the rest of the regular season. If you missed it, Juwan Howard suspended 5 games. Rest of the regular season, I thought it was a fair and just punishment. I don't think – look, if Michigan went out and fired him, that's harsh, but, like, I can't really –
right.
I wouldn't be defending it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be defending Juwan Howard at all if he did get fired. And if they told him to get lost until next season, I wouldn't be defending. But he should get the coach again this season.
Yeah.
Like, it was a fair punishment, 5 games. Hopefully he learned a lesson.
Yep.
I mean, he lost a lot of my respect because he's clearly just a punk. You know? He just wants to go be the Fab Five cool guy. And when he doesn't have the horses to hang with a Wisconsin, who's a great basketball team, filling out your bracket, don't forget about Wisconsin.
Yep.
So, like, you can't have it both ways.
You can't.
And then he wants to get mad that because it goes from 4 seconds to 10 seconds because Wisconsin needs enough time to break the press and get the ball over because of the 10-second rule. So Juwan Howard got mad at the Wisconsin coach because 6 seconds got put back on the clock when that's the rules. Whether it's a 4-point game or a 40-point game, that's the rules. That's not Wisconsin's fault. That's not Michigan's fault. That's not either coach's fault. But how about let's go, Phil? I mean, now I'm going to be a Michigan fan down the stretch. Maybe Phil Martelli can make some noise, win some games here down the stretch, maybe get himself another head coaching job if he's interested in that. He should absolutely be a head coach.
Oh, absolutely.
John Coyle, he's in the house. He disagrees with the poll. He wasn't entertained. Bill Middlebrook has a question. Let's hypothetically say Harden ends up opting in and gets $45 million, while Embiid will only be getting $32 million. If Embiid took that to heart and demanded a trade, would you blame him? Look, that's not going to happen because
I know it's a hypothetical question, but even then, it's not going to happen.
And here's why: because James Harden has been a terrific player for years and years in this league, and is entitled to a supermax contract. Joe's not there yet, right?
He's close to a supermax.
Did he sign a supermax?
Let's find out. I know he's close to a supermax.
Because I know Cat's going to sign one in the offseason. Because there's only 8 guys that are supermax guys. It's hard to be a supermax guy. Really hard. Like Steph's one, Dame Lillard's one, Durant's one, Giannis is one.
He does not have a supermax.
It's hard. Like, it's really hard.
Actually,
like,
what's the extension?
When Joe's 32, so Joe's next contract, it's going to be a supermax. That's where in the 5th year, you're making $60 million a year, and no one can do a damn thing about it. Like, James Harden's just achieved more of the supermax criteria. So Joe's getting all the money he's allowed to get.
All right, he does have a supermax extension.
Okay, he does have a supermax.
Yep, he has one.
But so that means in the 5th year, what's that, like $61 million, right?
In his 5th year, let me pull up his spot track real quick. So next year he's going to be making $33 million. Next year he's going to make $43 million. And by the end of that extension in 26-27, he'll be making $54 million.
Right. So Harden, he's probably on his 2nd supermax, right? Or at least the tail end of a max.
Yeah, I think that's correct. He's coming out the end of his first one.
So Harden's in the last year of the deal. We just read it. Joe's going to be making $54 million in the last year of his deal. So this is the max that Harden can get in his last year. So now that Harden's going to re-up, whether it's in the offseason, if he opts in.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Joe's you can't do any, like, the
Right.
top tier of the league, the super max guys, like, Joe can't get any more money from anywhere. And no one can pay him more than the Sixers because that's how it works. Same with James Harden. Personally, I look at it differently than the other guys that have cried their way out of cities. If the Sixers can't get it done, if I'm Embiid, I'm out of town. He's went through the process long enough. I mean, the words Joel Embiid and trade should never be in the same sentence.
No.
If it doesn't work here, it's Harden who's going to hit the bricks. And it'll be up to Morey to do something else. I don't know. I think it'll be interesting. Morey's going to have his hands full. Morey is going to have his hands full if this team doesn't get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Because the collateral, that's where you can go to Detroit and be like, okay, you give me Jeremy Grant and Sadiq Bey, I'll give you Tobias Harris. Right? Where I would laugh in your face if you wanted Ben Simmons for those two guys. That's the kind of thing that's going to happen if it goes south this season. That's just an example. I don't even know if that's feasible but Tobias Harris will be the collateral damage. He'll get traded for depth and a bunch of guys that'll make the money work, at least in my opinion, because Maxi's not going anywhere and he's only going to get better. So, but let's just see how it plays out. Joe's not going anywhere. He's not. He's not going anywhere. I don't care how far south it goes. He's not going anywhere. Period. All right, let's talk some NFL. NFL talk tonight is going to be brought to you by, let's get my reads here. Dr. Paul Vidal. Looking to buy or sell a home, looking for a change in career or brokerage, contact Alan Foy at eXp Realty, LLC at 302-682-8820 or alan.foy at exprealty.com. The juggernaut that is the NFL. I mean, we had 1 week. We did a Super Bowl recap last Monday.
Yep.
Now we're talking about the offseason this Monday. No lag time in the NFL. Tomorrow, franchise tag window opens. You go right into free agency. March 8th, free agency starts. Then you go right into the draft, which A2D Radio will be represented at the draft. Everyone come with us. Everyone come support us. We're going to be doing shows there on the floor of the draft. We're going to be well represented in the fans. The Eagles have 3 first-round picks, so we're going out. We're taking over Vegas at A2D Radio. But, you get the offseason. It's a lot of questions. What's like what Devontae Adams, you gotta show Aaron Rodgers you mean business if you're the Packers. You gotta tag him as soon as possible if you're the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Tag him. I can't imagine that he's gonna change teams. I can't imagine if Devontae Adams leaves Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers isn't going back there. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going back to Green Bay, period. I just see him walking off the field against the San Francisco 49ers at home. Another disappointment. Way too early. And I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to be in Green Bay at all. I don't know where he's going to go. But he's going to go somewhere. And I don't think it's going to be Green Bay. Eagles, franchise tag news. I mean, the Eagles aren't tagging anybody. They just don't have anyone that caliber that's contract is up. We touched on it a little bit last week. I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of fireworks when this new league year starts.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it's going to be
you have Russell Wilson, you have Deshaun Watson, you have Aaron Rodgers, all on the trade market, all pretty available according to reports. I've never entered an NFL offseason where quarterbacks of that caliber were potentially available. And the Eagles need a quarterback. And you have 3 first-round draft picks. The last 2 Super Bowl champions didn't grow their quarterback from within. They built up their roster, and then they went and got a quarterback, and they won. Tampa Bay, Los Angeles. I think it'll be interesting to see what the Atlanta Falcons do with Calvin Ridley. I think everyone's forgotten about Calvin Ridley. Pretty talented player.
Yeah.
He kind of left the team this year. No one really knows why. Mental health issues. But if he got the help he needed in his time off and he's ready to play football, he's a top-tier talent.
Yeah.
He's an absolute top-tier talent. If I'm the Eagles, I need a receiver to play with Devontae Smith, and I have 3 first-round draft picks, like 11, 14 draft picks, whatever they have overall, I'm checking that out. I'm checking that out for sure. You have the New Orleans Saints, $60 million over the salary cap. Michael Thomas won't be there next year. Will Alvin Kamara be there next year? Marquise Lattimore, will he be there next year? Michael Thomas definitely ain't going back there. There's bad blood between him and that franchise. Where's he going to play? I'm picking up the phone if I'm Howie Roseman when that new league year opens. See if I can go grab Michael Thomas. Not giving up a first-round pick for Calvin Ridley or Michael Thomas. But I'm checking it out. David Roscoe, where's my Matt Ryan going to be? I don't know.
Yeah, I think he stays in Atlanta.
I mean, do they draft a guy? I mean, look,
they're picking. I think that's what they got to do at this point.
You're picking 8th, but like I don't know if you pick a guy 8th out of this crop.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't even know either. Especially with the year of quarterbacks going into this draft, there's like nothing that really stands out to me. It's like, is it worth risking drafting a quarterback? And especially with, as you said, they're drafting 8th, and the Falcons have other needs at 8. So it's really tough, to be honest. So I don't see them making a move for a quarterback just yet.
If you trade Calvin Ridley, that can open some things up for you, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's going to be a lot of players. There's going to be a lot of trades. Quarterbacks are there. Rodgers, Watson, Wilson. I think we're going to get news on Watson soon, right? Legal news in March.
I believe so.
Before the draft, hopefully.
Hopefully.
I don't know. Look, you know my opinion. I don't think Jalen Hurts is good enough. I think if you trade 2 of your 3 first-round picks to Seattle, get Russell Wilson in the mix here, I think you're really in the mix in terms of the NFC East. Guys won championships. He owes the city nothing after another season of shit. And you're right. It's the same money. Why not? He needs 2 elite guys. Imagine him with Tatum and Brown or Curry and Clay. Bill, just calm down. Like we just got Harden. I'm Mr. Negadelphia when it comes to this process and the Philadelphia 76ers. You got to get on board, man. You're talking about trading Joe if it doesn't work out. Why don't we just sit back and watch and hope it works out? There's going to be scapegoat. There's going to be scapegoat after scapegoat before you get the Joe if this thing goes south. Right? Doc might be gone. Tobias might be gone. You know, all the role players that have been here, they're probably going to be gone. Let's just relax. Let's just relax. You got the best player in the league, and you have a dominant scoring guy in Harden on the perimeter. What do you want? You're already looking forward to the offseason and not working out? Bob Brinkman, Christian McCaffrey. Add him to the list of the NFL potential movers. You got a good back in Chubba Hubbard down there. Look, and like have the Carolina Panthers and the New York Giants, like, don't pick a running back in the top 10. Just don't do it. It's not smart. It's really, really not smart. How many wins has that draft pick of Saquon Barkley translated in to for the New York Giants?
Not much.
Not many. Christian McCaffrey, what'd he go? 8th? I think he went 8th.
Yeah, 8th.
He can't stay healthy anymore. Just don't pick a running back in the top 10. I don't think there's going to be a running back picked in the first round in this year's draft.
And if there is one going to be drafted in the first round, it's going to be at the tail end of the first.
Very, very tail end. I think some people like this guy Spiller.
Yeah,
Texas A&M. I think he's like C.J. Spiller's cousin or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's Isaiah Spiller, and then they're talking about Kenny Walker.
Right, he's a good player. Maybe, but I mean, Calvin Ridley, and then 2 free agents. Look, I got 2 free agents here for Howie Roseman and the Eagles scouting department. Jesse Bates III, safety, Cincinnati Bengals, 24 years old, 4 years experience. He's had 90 tackles in 3 of his last 4 seasons. I don't know what the Bengals cap situation, but if he is going to hit the open market, 24-year-old safety on the Super Bowl runner-up, I'm comfortable shelling out some money for that. Love Jesse Bates III. I like the way he plays. And then you look at the New York Jets. I think Jameson Crowder. I think he could potentially do some stuff for this offense if you bring him in. He's coming off a really bad year in New York, so I think you're going to get a discount on him. But I think he's a good player. He's a slot receiver. Look, he's a slot receiver. I think everyone can agree we're done with Jalen Reagor.
Yeah. And Arcega-Whiteside.
And Jay Jaw. So, and Quez, I mean, I like Quez. He's fast and he can do stuff for you.
Yep.
But, I need him to be my 4th guy on a Super Bowl offense. Look, if you can't score 30 points in this league, you're not winning a championship. It's not 1994 where you're going to hit teams in the mouth and win 17-10. It's just not how it works anymore. Same with the NBA. It's not 1994 anymore. The Andre Drummond style of big man, it's not what wins.
Right.
You need 2 superstars and you need a go-to guy on the perimeter to win a championship in the NBA. In the NFL, you need a franchise quarterback and you need an offense that can put up 30 points at the blink of an eye. Give me Jameson Crowder to run the slot for me. Give me Jesse Bates to shore up a safety spot for me. I don't think either of those will break the bank too much. Jesse Bates might get overpaid a little bit because of his age and the fact that he's a Bengal. And I think the Bengals will obviously be trying to keep him. But, like I just said, what do you need? You have a franchise quarterback in Cincinnati. You have an offense that can put up 30 points in the blink of an eye. What they don't have in Cincinnati is an offensive line that can keep Joe Burrow upright. That's why they lost the Super Bowl. They gave up 7 sacks. They should have even beat the Titans, giving up 9 sacks in the divisional round. So, it'll be interesting to see, are the Bengals going to pay a starting safety his quote? Or are they going to let the defensive guy walk because I need an offense that can put up 30 points and I got to protect my Joe Burrow, my franchise quarterback, and put the money there? If Jesse Bates hits the open market, I'm trying to sign him. Hook, line, and sinker. Secondary is a huge need for this football team. You sure up a safety spot with a 24-year-old professional football player. And then you go into the draft. Jameson Crowder, he's 28. He's a really good slot receiver. Had a down year last year. I still believe in him as a player, but he had a down year last year with the stinky Jets. I still think he can do some things for you. He's a slot guy. So if you give me Devontae Smith, Jameson Williams, and someone else on the outside, I think that's a potential offense that can score 30 points. Here's Bill Middlebrook with his draft scenario of the night. He loves his draft. He loves his mock drafts. How do you feel about mock drafts, Frank?
I think they're interesting, the mock drafts.
It's a good word, interesting.
Yeah.
There's only 32 opinions that matter.
Yeah. Right.
And then, I read these guys, this team's going to trade up and this team's going to trade back. No idea.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the same thing with the NBA mock drafts. It's like you never know what's going to happen. Like the player that you want for, let's say, the 76ers, 5 minutes after they get traded. It's completely.
The NBA is weird because they make teams do the pick.
Yeah.
And then announce trades. So, teams are picking for a different team. And then the team later is picking for them, and then they trade after, which is weird. It's hard to keep track of. Bill Middlebrook, I do 15, 19 in Hurts for Wilson. I mean, look, you're not trading. I mean, okay, if you can pull that off, then good. Seattle get 4 picks, so he wants to do 15, 19 and Hurts for Wilson. So then Metcalf wants out. You give a 2023 first and third with Sanders for Metcalf. Keep them together, get 4 picks. Seattle gets 4 picks, a QB, a running back. We still have 16. And you also have Dillard, I think, that can be a trade piece in the trade. You know? Yep. He's a former first-round pick. You don't really need him here. I can find a tackle later in the draft to be a rotational tackle.
And plus, the success of what Jordan Mailata's having, I mean.
Yeah, he's a beast.
He's a beast. He's been on fire the past 2 seasons since being named the starting left tackle. And Dillard, he's been a solid rotational piece. He could be a decent starter elsewhere.
Look, I'm trying. Hurts, Dillard, Sanders, and 1 first-round pick for Russell Wilson. I'm doing that all day. Keep 2 of my draft picks. Still get younger. Mr. Wing, Wilson will never waive his no-trade clause to come to Philly. Why? Why? If he wants out of Seattle and he wants to come to the East Coast, there's only a handful of teams that fit the bill, so to speak. The Giants, the Jets, who aren't going to do it because they just drafted Zach Wilson. The Giants have 2 first-round picks, and his wife has affairs in New York, business affairs in New York. So that could be a fit. But is that smart for the Giants? The Giants are way worse off than the Eagles. Are you giving the 5th pick for Russell Wilson? Plus maybe a future pick and a player maybe? I don't know if that's smart for the Giants. So, I don't understand why there's hate. It's outlandish that Russell Wilson wouldn't waive his no trade clause to come to Philly. I don't understand that. And you have, it's the 3 teams in the NFC East that aren't the Dallas Cowboys that are the best suitors that seem to fit. Mr. Wing, he just did a radio show saying he's staying in Seattle. Why the hell would you come to Philly?
Mm-hmm.
Look, I don't understand what your narrative is here about Philly is the worst place to play. I don't get that. They're in the playoffs every year. 4 out of 5 years in the playoffs with a championship. The only team with a better resume is the Kansas City Chiefs, who are in the AFC Championship game every year and have a championship and multiple Super Bowl appearances. Okay? So this narrative that Philadelphia is some trash hole NFL city is just inaccurate. And by the way, the Eagles have built that resume 4 out of 5 years in the playoffs with one championship with zero stability at the quarterback position. It's a new guy every year. It was Wentz. We thought we had that figured out with Wentz, and then Wentz went south, and then Foles was doing his thing, and now you have Hurts. So I don't understand it. I don't care what he said on his radio show. These guys lie through their teeth all the time. Like everyone wants to latch on to Howie Roseman saying Jalen Hurts is going to be the quarterback next year. Nick Sirianni saying he's going to be the quarterback here next year. I don't care. Howie is a snake and the fan base is toxic. Okay. I don't understand how the fan base is toxic. I really don't. I don't get that argument either. Because we want to win, and we're savage fans when it comes to our sports. Wouldn't you want that as a player? I guess some guys don't, like Ben Simmons. You know, you want to be the St. Louis Cardinals or Penn State football where you just get cheered no matter what. You get a free piece of pie at the diner just because you're on the team. Like, I mean, if that's what you want, okay. But to say our fan base is toxic because we want to win and we hold players accountable and we care a lot about sports, it's woven into our culture. I don't understand how that makes you toxic. And, like, if you want to bring up snowballs at Santa Claus, like, give me a break. That's not going to fly here. Because, you know, I mean, how many misbehaving fans can we point at that don't happen in Philadelphia?
Yep.
Look at San Francisco, LA, that rivalry. Guy got paralyzed. There's fights in LA all the time. It's a zoo out there in California. Nobody has any money, so they lash out and they're violent. So Mr. Wing says that every night Wilson would run here and play behind our O-line if we had another wide receiver, and that's not true. His agent said with the right O-line and receivers, he's open to Pennsylvania. And I don't know if you saw, Frank, the Steelers owner and Steelers management, they backed Mason Rudolph hard today. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I suppose that could be if Pittsburgh, New York, they're kind of close to each other. It seems like he wants to come east. At least his wife does. And I think he's sick of getting knocked around. Look, Seattle, there's just not much talent there on that team. There's really not.
Yeah, not the same team that was there years ago. I mean, this is a far cry from the Legion of Boom. You know, you don't have a consistent running back, and you know what happens when Russell goes down. We saw the production of Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf go down. You know, the Seahawks have been on the downward spiral, but it's slowly they're starting to regress, and what we saw this season is probably a sign for what things are to come for the Seahawks in the near future.
Bryce Harper just signed with the Phillies, Mr. Wing. Could sign anywhere in Major League Baseball. He came to Philly and our toxic fan base. NFL, it's hard. It's hard to land big-time free agents because it's a hard cap league. You know?
Yep.
It's not magic. And if he does come to Philly or he goes to Washington, which is what I fear the most, Russell Wilson going to the Washington Commanders, it's nice to actually say not the football team and they actually have a name.
Yeah.
But if he goes to Washington, there's your NFC East champions. And Mr. Wing, look, I'm with you with Deshaun Watson. because he's 26, 27, and he's a proven guy in this league. He's a franchise quarterback. But I need more information on his legal situation. I do. I need more information. Is this guy a creep? If he's a creep that's going to throw for 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns, you can come be a creep all day long on my team. But if you're a felon, I can't have that. Can't have that. Sorry. Do your time, and then maybe we can talk. Creep, you're fine. Felon, you're not fine. So I can't give up the capital that Houston is going to be requesting for a guy that has potential serious legal troubles. Unless I'm stealing them. Like if they go, look, we got to end this thing. We got to end this thing. Like, give us pick 15, and we'll take. You take Watson. Maybe throw in like a 3. Give us 1-1 and 1-2. We'll give you Watson. We'll go with Davis. But like, okay, maybe I could do that. Even then, I'm nervous. So if I trade for this guy and he goes to jail, jail for sexual assault, which if he's guilty of these accusations, they're going to ring him up. Rob, Seattle is going to be in a rebuild. His wife almost had him out of there last year. He won't be happy in Seattle. Happy wife, happy life. Look, I just don't want to hog these 3 first-round draft picks and this potential salary capital that we have. I don't want to hoard that and make wrong decisions in the draft because it's hard. It's hard to draft players. It's hard to predict how kids are going to transition into professionals. And that's every sport, not just the NFL. It's hard. So if I can give up some draft picks and get a guy like Russell Wilson in here, I'm doing that all day long, especially when I don't have a franchise quarterback because Jalen Hurts stinks. He stinks. And if you want to, like, you better hit 3. You better hit 15, 16, 19, 51 as starters and get my Jameson Crowder and get my Jesse Bates III from Cincinnati if you want to repeat going to the playoffs. If you're going to string – you want to string me along and tell me Jalen Hurts is going to come into camp next year and blossom into Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes or whatever franchise quarterback you want to float your boat, okay, you better hit on every pick and hit on every free agent signing if that's going to be the case. Because I don't see it with Jalen Hurts. I don't know what people see in Jalen Hurts. I really don't. Can't read defenses. Doesn't have elite arm strength. Makes poor decisions. He can run. I'll give him that. He's not a guy I trust at the line of scrimmage to, make the necessary adjustments to put a good play forward. You can't run RPOs with Jalen Hurts, in my opinion. He's not smart enough. He doesn't have the football IQ to do it. Maybe I can steal Russell Wilson for less than I think from Seattle. I don't know. Maybe Miles Sanders and Andre Dillard, and Jalen Hurts. I would assume they would want Hurts in a trade, which is fine by me. So, does Dillard, Sanders, Hurts, and pick 15, does that get me Russell Wilson? And throw in whatever down the line,
right?
3rd round pick, whatever. Does that get me Russell Wilson? I don't think so. I don't think people realize we are only 5 players away. Yes, a QB will come here with the right players. Elite wide receiver, period. We have the O-line. 5 players away? It sounds like a lot. Remember, you start 22.
Done?
What?
Can it be done? I think it can. But you just got to get the right
you have pieces. The assets to add 5 players into the mix here.
Right.
Let's say 1 is Russell Wilson. That counts as 2, maybe 3, if you bring Russell Wilson in for Jalen Hurts. Because you're not winning nothing in today's NFL without a franchise quarterback.
Right.
If you can't score 30 points, you're not winning. And it helps a lot. Your defense gets a lot better. Mike Williams is a good name, Bill Middlebrook.
Yep.
Chris Godwin, no. Tyler Boyd, no. I don't understand. Like, are the Bengals going to sign Jesse Bates III or sign Tyler Boyd? I don't know. Yeah, Wilson, Mr. Wing, I hear you. Russell Wilson holds all the cards. He's got to want to come here. I get it. But your suggestion that Russell Wilson is just going to turn his nose up in Philly and say, I don't want to play there. Nope, never happening. I think that's ridiculous. This team's in the playoffs every single year with no stability at the quarterback position. Russell Wilson gives you stability at the quarterback position. If you add Russell Wilson to this team and only Russell Wilson to this team, you're like right there in the NFC. Because, like, look, who do I got to beat in the NFC? Brady's gone, at least for now. You know my conspiracy theory on that. I think he's going to play when push comes to shove. But for now, he's retired. I think Rodgers is going back to Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, all I have to do to be a contender in the NFC is beat Dak and the Cowboys, who couldn't win a game of checkers if there was any pressure on it. You know, the Niners, they're gonna have Trey Lance next year. I don't know what Trey Lance is. The Rams are the champs. They're gonna have Stafford. Like Kyler Murray, am I supposed to be scared of Kyler Murray in Arizona? Which, by the way, he's barking his mouth too. Like Minnesota, no one in the South. If the Eagles get Russell Wilson, that means the Commanders aren't getting Russell Wilson. So the Commanders are without a quarterback. The Giants they're just not very good. So, like, if I add Russell Wilson and only Russell Wilson, I'm heating up quick when it comes to the NFC with no Brady and potentially no Rodgers. Bill, Seattle isn't trading Mick. I mean, look, we've seen trades come out of nowhere, especially recently when this new league year opens. And, like, I don't know. Because Seattle, I don't know if they're very good either. The only reason they have a chance to rebound next year is because they have Russell Wilson. But if they don't have Russell Wilson and he wants out, like, they don't have a choice. It's like the Nets with Harden.
Right.
He's not going to play. It's like the Sixers with Ben. He's not going to play there. He doesn't want to be there. So you ship him out. Bill Middlebrook, Juju, anybody? No. I think Juju Smith-Schuster, I think he's supremely overrated. I think the only receiver that's worth a damn on the Pittsburgh Steelers is Deontay Johnson. Because that Chase Claypool, he's a town too.
Yeah.
If he gets to be near home and has a very good chance of winning, Mr. Wing just doesn't like Wilson. Yeah, I don't know what there's not to like about Russell Wilson. He has all the tools. He's a little short. I'll give you that. So he's not the 6'4", 230-pound guy that some of these guys are. And Bill, Mr. Wing, he's a Wilson fan, but not 34 years old. Isn't he 32? I think he's 32. No sloppy seconds. I want to build the team and have some cap to bring in free agents. If we get Watson, you do it. Whoa, hold on. So what do we pay him? Deshaun Watson peanuts? How much money is he making? He's got to be making a lot. There's your cap space. If you trade for Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson, free agents and cap space is gone. Forget about that. You're going to have to draft super good and, do what the Bengals did last year, a bunch of one-year prove-it deals and hope they work out. 2017 Eagles did the same thing. Yeah, but Mr. Wing, Deshaun Watson didn't play a down of football last year. Deshaun Watson might go to jail. So am I supposed to give up multiple first-round picks for a guy who might go to jail? If he doesn't go to jail, I'm all with you. Bryce Blackwell, we need 2 edge rushers. We can't get to the QB. Okay, but franchise quarterback trumps pass rush. I'll get a guy. We need 2 wide receivers over Rager and J-Jaw. Okay.
Yep.
Franchise quarterback trumps wide receiver. I can get a guy. All right, let me touch on the MLB lockout before we get out of here. Been a great 2 hours. Comments have been great. Frank's been great. I'm sure Brad's living it up down
Yep.
St. Thomas. The MLB lockout. Like, do these guys realize that if they don't play baseball, no one makes any money?
Yep.
Players aren't getting paid. No one's going to the game. No one's buying hot dogs. No one's buying beer. No one's buying nothing. Owners aren't making money. Players aren't making money. Someone's got to let these players and owners know that if they don't play, nobody's making money. They have till the 28th. Today's date is the 21st. So what's that? Next Monday. They have till next Monday to reach a deal before the regular season is in jeopardy.
Yep.
And they're just now. They've been locked out for 78 days. I think today was the 78th day. They're just now meeting every day. Okay. Now, I don't know how big of a baseball guy you are, Frank.
Not as much as you and Brad.
Okay. Fair, because we're big baseball people, and quite a few of the shows are big. But, like, as a casual fan, right. Is that an accurate?
Yeah, I would say casual
of your fandom of.
Yeah.
Mr. Wing, they need to speed the game up. Soccer is overtaking baseball in America as more popular. Hate to say it. Baseball is baseball is baseball is baseball.
Yep.
It's a niche sport. It's like golf. It's like bowling. It's like soccer. You either like it or you don't. You're either going to spend your money and go to the yard, spend $100, spend $50 on beer and hot dogs and the whole thing, or you're not. So, Frank,
yes,
as a casual fan, like, how many Phillies, like, say they start on time, there's 81 home games.
All right.
How many of them will the casual fan, Frank Vesby, be attending?
Let's see. I would love to go to at least 5 of them, but because of my schedule and, with work and all that, it's probably down to at least 1 or 2.
Okay. So you go to a couple games. Like, are you more inclined to go to more games if the game is 15 minutes faster?
I don't think the timing makes much a significant impact for me. I love enjoying a good game of baseball whenever I have the opportunity just to observe it. I love the experience there. So having the game 15 minutes shorter, it bears no impact on me whatsoever.
Is there anything that Major League Baseball can do to make Frank Vesby, the casual fan, say maybe go to that 3 to 5 game a season guy to, maybe buying a Sunday pack, maybe buying a 13 game partial season ticket package?
Let's see
The point I'm trying to get at is there's not much they can do.
It's not
right?
much. It's not much. Exactly.
It is what it is. We're going to start playing with metal bats.
Yeah.
You know these guys are coming in yoked the fuck up because they're not testing for steroids the year after Clemens and Bonds are off that Hall of Fame ballot. Funny how that works.
Yep.
So you know there's a segment of these guys that are just juicing up.
Yep.
And there's going to be a lot of guys that, wow, he's in really good shape. He looks like he packed on a lot of muscle. Okay. So, yes, Troy H., like the Phillies being good.
Yeah,
that would compel you to go to the yard more, right?
Yep.
So, like, baseball needs to stop trying to cater to the casual fan because there's not a damn thing that they can do to make the casual fan care more. The problem they're running into is that if you miss regular season games, the casual fan like Frank Vesby is going to be gone forever. And the diehards like me are few and far between.
Yep.
So they got to figure it out. I mean, I think a DH in the National League, maybe get some more offense going. Don 19. I mean, he wants to free Juwan Howard. I mean, okay. I mean, at least he's not going for the season. Like, if you guys can actually get your shit together and actually make the NCAA tournament, I mean, maybe Juwan Howard can use his playing days and expertise to will them to a couple victories. But you're not in awful shape. Philly's got you covered with Phil Martelli there, Don.
Yep.
And he was hoping to see Baez and the Tigers this year. Look, I think they're going to get it done.
Yeah.
I really do. I hope. Because that would be bad for baseball. But, like, the players need to wise up too, you know? Right? Because, you know, they're crying foul and this, that, and the other. And the owners, like, I don't even know where you start. I don't even know where you start. You can't have meetings that last 15 minutes.
Right.
And you storm out. That can't happen. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But baseball's got to eliminate these owners in Pittsburgh and Baltimore and Kansas City and places like that just have no interest in winning. They take the revenue sharing money and they put it right in their pockets. And they hold guys down so they can get an extra year eligibility after them so they don't have to pay them. If you're going to play baseball like that, that's fine, but you better be the Rays. You better be sticking with the Yankees winning 90 games a year. Yankees, Red Sox. Like, what's the Yankees payroll? Probably like 4 times the Rays payroll? And the Rays win that division every year? You
Sounds
better,
like
if you're gonna nickel and dime, you better do it right. You better be Billy Bean Moneyball out in Oakland or Tampa. Like, even the Rangers, they're spending money. The Tigers spent money. These aren't big markets. So that's baseball's biggest problem. And I think that the DH in the National League is long overdue. And I've been a dinosaur on that for a while. But, like, you have all these guys. Like, Carlos Correa doesn't have a team. Chris Bryant doesn't have a team. Kyle Schwarber doesn't have a team. The Phillies haven't done anything yet.
Right.
Except get the news that, you know, you can put Rhys Hoskins or Alec Boehm at DH and maybe do some things there. Hopefully they get a deal done. I'm supposed to be doing fantasy baseball prep work right now, Frank.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I don't even know who's on what team, and there's no deal, and I can't even set up the league. It's nonsense. But anyway, we're going to get out of here. We're over time. Frank, you did a commendable job stepping in.
Thank you.
For Brad. You're a nice compliment to my ranting tonight. Thank you to everyone who commented, shared, subscribed to the show. Next Monday, we'll see you then. Peace out, everybody.
Have a good night.